Hey, what's good, guys? We are back and we are continuing where we have left off. Chelsea 2, Bayer Leverkusen nil. What a solid performance. We don't take breaks. We don't need no breaks. Nor did we look like we've had a break. Didn't look rusty. Playing the same way as we finished the Club World Cup. We were superb. A lot better than I thought we would be coming on the first game back after a 3-week holiday. And I have to say, in terms of the opposition, I thought Bayer Leverkusen were pretty poor. Now, I think our dominance made them look pretty poor, but there was no fluidity in them. They had a few individual players that were pretty decent on the day, but other than that, they really struggled, especially in the first half. I mean, we're sitting at around 77% possession. They had maybe a couple of chances, if that. But other than that, nothing really to talk about. No real challenge, at least not as much as I expected them to at least give us something to think about. And you can obviously say, Erik Ten Hag, new manager, they've lost their talisman in Florian Wirtz, but they are a few games into their pre-season. Again, their season is starting just like ours next week. So I would expect them to be a little bit more sharper, probably a little bit more up for it, considering we've only just come back this week. And we were, I would say, 100 times better than they were today. And we're only going to get better. For me, they need some serious work. But we don't care about them. We move on from that. Chelsea, they were good today. And a lot of individual players really, really shone, in one of them being the young lad in Estevao. What a player. We're going to get onto more on him in a bit. But overall, I think the team was pretty solid. We were set up pretty well. We come out with a strong lineup for the first half. And it was good to see a lot of the new faces get minutes today. I'm going to start from back to front. So starting with the back line, some notable performances, I would have to say. Achimpong, I thought he was really, really solid at the back today. He had that one little error that he made, I think, in early parts of the second half, where he tripped on the ball. He looked like he was caught in two minds. He looked like he wanted to play it out, saw there was no option, went to do a little cut back with his foot, and it just landed on top of the ball and he fell over. Now, in the Premier League, you will get punished for that. Again, pre-season, not so much, but it's just a little error. It's nothing really in terms of technical ability or anything that he needs to work on. It was just a little lapse in concentration and a step on the ball. But again, Premier League, you will be punished for that. But other than that, I thought he was really solid. The first half, he gave their centre forward not even a sniff. I barely saw their centre forward in the first half. And that was all down to how Achimpong was just marshalling him, controlling that back line. He was confident on the ball. It was really, really solid for a young player, especially now with Levi Colwill out. These other players are going to have to step up and, take that mantle, and it was a good showing from Josh today. Midfield-wise, lumping them all into one because we had lots of changes in this game. So starting off with Andre Santos and Moises Caicedo. Moises Caicedo, the man is a machine. He literally cuts apart any counter-attack that is coming our way. I don't understand how the guy does it. I really don't. Just how he gets around. And to be honest, the referee was a little bit iffy today because there was a few really nice last-stitch tackles that Caicedo was playing, especially that one right on the edge of the box where he's come across, got that ball cleanly as anything. The referee's obviously blown for the free kick, but I don't know how the guy does it. He's got an engine. He just runs forever, and he's not one of those where all he does is the defensive work. He's picking up little 1-2s in and around the edge of the box in the attacking half of the pitch, combining with Estevao up the top. He's such a solid player. And then next to him, he was partnered by Andre Santos in the first half, who again was really, really solid, cutting out counter-attacks, playing some really good through balls. He's really close and tight to Moises Caicedo. There wasn't lots of gaps between them, which can happen when you've got two players that have not played together very much. Obviously, he had a few showings in the Club World Cup, but it's not like they've played together for a full season. But their spacing was really, really good in the game. And again, Santos is one of those players, you don't really say his name a lot in the match, but that's because he's doing his job. He's doing his job well. If you're not sort of constantly saying his name and things like that, that means that the defensive unit and the defensive midfield unit are marshalling the other team and they're stopping them from getting in any dangerous position. So that is a good sign that we're not having to say his name a lot. And he just looks really solid. And to have him back and to have this midfield, because we're going to talk about another midfielder that come in the second half, Dario Sugo, he just looked like Moises Caicedo. At times I was just thinking Moises Caicedo didn't come off the pitch. He's doing exactly the same movements. He's getting his body in exactly the same positions. He's making these last-ditch tackles. In the second half, we sort of went into a 4-1 formation where he was just playing as the sole central defensive midfielder, and he was mopping up everything. The counter-attacks closed down, last-ditch tackles, the pinging of the ball. It was unreal. It was really good to see. And if we have got another Moises Caicedo on our hands, oh, mate, just give us the Premier League now. We'll be lapping it up. He was really, really good. Again, another player just come into the squad, just come back from holiday, settled straight in, and played some really, really good football. Then the front line, Palmer and Estevao. The interchanging between these two today, it was a joke. Only a couple of sessions together, probably. I know Estevao still doesn't speak English, but they have the freedom on the pitch to just move and interchange positions throughout the game. Palmer was on the right, Estevao through the middle. Sometimes Estevao was going out the left, Palmer going through the middle. It was just constant changing, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare for teams to defend against, and I am all for that. If they can lock that down and make that interchanging of positions a staple, they are going to be so difficult to defend against, and they are going to produce something special this season. And you can already see the links. Again, Cole Palmer got the chip on that come off the crossbar that came out to Estevao for his goal. I'm glad he's broken his duck already, so he's going to go into the season fully confident now that he's got his first goal, because that first goal is always a bugger to get. Once you've got it, it's a weight lifted, but until you get it, you're carrying a bit of baggage on you, because you want to score, especially being an attacking player. You want to get that goal very, very early. And he's done that today. And I say he just doesn't look like a player that's 18 years old. His intelligence, his movement, as like I said, the way that he's interchanging with Palmer already only after a couple of sessions, does not look like a player that is 18. He doesn't. And he is going to be something special if he continues the way that it's going. Again, it's pre-season, early doors, opposition, not the best. But he looks special. He does look special. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see especially the Palmer and the Estevao link up. Just from what we saw today, is going to be scary. And I'm all for it. And I cannot wait to see it develop over the course of this season. I thought Tyreek George, at one point I couldn't recognise him. I thought this was a new player. He's definitely eating his Weetabix and gotten bigger. He looked different, a completely different player to me. He played pretty well. He was, in occasions, trying to overdo things, but I think that's more down to the fact that he's got another young player, an 18-year-old on the other wing that's just scored and is producing something. So that's going to happen. It's competition. He's got to compete, and we've got to be real. We've got Pedro Neto, Estevao, Jamie Gittins, Tyreek George, potentially Garnacho, potentially Simmons coming in. We're going to have a lot of options on the wing. So I get it from George's point of view. He needs to show, he needs to produce some moments of magic to, give him a start in spot, or, make him in contention for the team week in, week out. So I'm not gonna put him down for trying. So, but other than that, he did play pretty well. Delap, some good moments. He had some good opportunities. Some of the balls that were put in, I think one from Tyreek George where he got a touch on it and it's come off the keeper's shoulder. He's had a few moments in and behind. Faded a little bit towards the end of the first half. But other than that, again, still settling into the team. He's going to cause defenders problems in terms of his physicalness. He loves to run in behind. You can see Palmer's always looking for that ball over the top in behind for Liam Delap. And he is a willing runner. He's going to run for everything. Even if he can't make it, he's going to try and get there. And Palmer is going to like his strikers. You can see already in Palmer's face and the way that the confidence that he's playing with, that he's so much happier with the lads that we've got up front now than what he's had over the last 2 seasons. And you can see that he's probably going to produce a lot better season than he did last season because of what we've got going forward and because what potentially we can have going out on the wings. I think when Pedro Neto and Jamie Gittins came onto the pitch, they look solid. Gittins' touch is good. It's a lot better than Madueke's, I have to say. His first touch is really good. And then that was the one instance where he got to the sort of, I think it was like the left side of the box, and there was about 3 players around him, and he just jinked through all 3 of them, passed it straight out. He looks like he's got some really good close ball control. Not too much seen of him in that game, but there were some promising signs of what's to come. I thought Joro Hato, another new player that come on, he looks really, really good. And what was interesting is, even though Joro Hato's only just joined the team, so he's probably, again, only had a couple of training sessions because we've only just come back, he's playing the Cucurella role straight away, as in he's starting obviously in the left back and then inverting into midfield, which it's taken obviously the team the season to learn it. Cucurella's adopted it pretty quickly. But Lorenzo Maresca, as he's going to do, is going to expect all the new players coming in to be able to play this role. And he did it really well. Like that, he's been playing it for quite a while. He went in, he dropped in midfield, he was picking up these balls and pinging these passes around. And when he needed to make the defensive drop, he was dropping back and he chased obviously their right winger all the way down and bodied him off the ball and pinged that ball straight out. He looked good. It was a solid first showing for him, something we can get, used to seeing him, see what he is about, and he looked pretty good. And I think overall, the team looked solid coming back for their first game. And I have to say, I think teams need to be worried about us next season. And don't come at me saying it's pre-season, don't get carried away, because we've been showing this since the back end of last season, Club World Cup. We've been showing that we are getting better and better and going on strength by strength for each game. So don't come at me with it pre-season, because you've got to beat what's in front of you. I mean, you still got to play the game of football. And we looked good. We looked sharper than I expected us to be. And we looked like we're playing with a little bit more fire. We can say it was because it's the back of the Club World Cup and we've won it. We're now world champions, so they've got that extra fire in their belly. I think it's more than that. I think the mentality of these players now, they're just hungry and they just want to win. And it shows in the game. And one of those players that epitomizes that is João Pedro. The guy, how he's not been playing up front for Brighton, I will never understand. They have definitely lost the boat on this, and I'm thanking them for the signing, because he looks like the real deal. Another goal, continuing his form. He didn't really play up front in this game. He sort of was playing in the 10 or as a shadow striker. Didn't really see him up front at any point. And his goal, a great run from Genesis Antwi down the right-hand side, beating his fullback, cutting it back. Little touch inside from João Pedro, smacked it into the bottom corner. What a tidy finish. Left the goalkeeper on his arse. He looks like the guy. He looks like he's going to carry us forward, and he looks like he's going to bag quite a few goals next season. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I cannot wait. Obviously, we've got one more pre-season game against AC Milan on Sunday, and then it's the season, baby. We are 1 week away. Crystal Palace, first game of the season, and I am ready for this season. I feel like we are going to do something special this season. But for now, guys, that is all from me, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this. How do you think we played today? What do you think we're going to achieve next season? Drop a comment below. But for now, if you are enjoying this content, please hit that like button. Take care of yourselves, and I will catch you in the next one.